secondary as well. It is interesting because they have had games where they've got gashed, but it's been by the quarterback if they've been gashed. I feel like they have stopped backs at a decent level so far this year, but Adarian Nettles, like you mentioned, that'll be a tall drink of water in Colleyville. Big play coming up. Put on the carpet by Nettles. Joey Nisbet picks it up, and right on cue, Trebell Jeffers, they're stopping the run.
All right there. They made a big play. We said it. They're going to have to find some teams like – you have to make teams like Summit pay. You have to. This is a really good ball club. They're sitting in second in the district. Got to take advantage of this moment.
Weaver looking down the field. Trevi Pricer's there. He has it at the 15, running into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers, 35 yards. Bodie Weaver, Trevi Price, Panthers up 6-0.
Like I said, you got to take advantage of the moment. They coughed up the ball. They gave you an opportunity. Take advantage of it and put 6 on the board, and that is that route developed, and he hits Trevi Pricer right down the middle, in between the linebacker and the safety, and Trevi Pricer just does the rest, and he takes it to the house, getting those yards after the catch.
It's only his 26th passing touchdown of the season. Bodie Weaver, 26 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Colleyville takes advantage of the Adarian Nettles fumble. He had a 10-yard gain on his first carry, but in comes Dylan Hammond on the defensive line to pop it out. He's in 5 straight games, 5 or more TDs in 5 straight games. And, 33 touchdowns now in his 8th game of the season. It took him just his 2nd drive. But you've got 3 in the backfield once again. It is handoff to Nettles right there. Stopped up at the 1-yard line. Good run defense there by Colleyville. And yet, Trammell, I would argue that Colleyville's strength of their defense really has been containing some of those backs, but it is going to be interesting against the team tonight because the book is out on Summit.
And then the Panther gang came and finished the rest, and they hold it down on 3rd down, forcing this Jaguars team to punt on 4th down.
And that's the 3rd guy in the backfield. They do a really good job of distributing the ball. The quarterback can run it himself, and Ian Gebhard, Adarian Nettles, top running back in the district. But then that second running back that's also back there, they feature him getting to the outside. He's very active. You saw him there. 4 on the rush. Weaver to pass, looking down the field, but Sunwall turned back for the curl. Bodie Weaver thought he would keep going, and the two not on the same page. Incomplete. And a 4th and 9 will have Colleyville punt from their own 14-yard line. Don't see it too often with those two not on the same page, but that was the case there. Probably Bodie just seeing that it was single coverage, and typically single coverage on Lucas Sunwall has not been good news for opposing defenses.
First time tonight.
810 yards on the ground already this season for the quarterback. He's gone north of 100 yards 4 times and has 10 touchdowns on the ground. Here it is, Adarian Nettles. He's untouched into the end zone, righting the wrongs of the fumble by Adarian Nettles on the opening drive for Mansfield Summit. But they respond with a touchdown run. Adarian Nettles into the end zone, a dozen runs. And that is a couple flags that come in after the fact on the return of the blocked PAT. Was Ryan Lloyd, but Demarius Logan back-to-back weeks. He's coming up big in special teams on a block. Blocks a punt last week, blocks a PAT this week, and Colleyville leading by a point.
Yeah, he is so disruptive on special teams, especially the last 2 weeks. Here he is running right down the middle, free down the middle. He just blocks it.
Across the 45, and it's the kicker, Omepipo Oleor, the sophomore, who's able to bring him down. He was the last line of defense.
He was the last line of defense, but if Super Casey picks up that block, that is 6. That is a touchdown on that play. We just needed that one last block, and he was free to the end zone. But the Panthers are going to start in good field position as they got the ball just before midfield. They're going to get it at their own 40.
Mentioned 1 block away from potentially having that one into the end zone. So Colleyville with solid field position starting at their own 45. A false start will back them up to the 40. A 1st and 15 awaiting the Panthers. Leading 7-6 after Bodie Weaver found Trevi Price for a touchdown. Colleyville scoring on their 2nd drive. They punted on their 1st drive, but scored on their 2nd drive after forcing a fumble But then the Jaguars for loss per game. A ton of Power 4 offers for him, and he puts Bodie Weaver behind the sticks even more, 2nd and 16 after the loss of 1.
Yeah, not a good start to this drive. You started off with a penalty and then a negative play on first down. So now we're facing 2nd and long. You got to get some chunk yardage here to set yourself up good on a 3rd down situation.
Bennett goes in motion. Weaver with the moving pocket, looking down the field.
So that is a good sign. They're going to connect.
7 catches for 123 yards and 3 touchdowns last week for Connor Supakase against Arlington Seguin in that 1-point overtime win. Bodie Weaver on the run. He stopped up at the 31-yard line, enough for the first down on a 3rd down and short. So Colleyville putting together a productive drive that started inside their own 20-yard line. They've moved the chains.
Bodie Weaver's face. He throws it as he's getting hit. A nice jump ball to the right sideline. And Sumwall snags it in, and he gets short right at the 1-yard line. What a play by both. What a throw and what a catch.
Beautiful throw to get to the 1, and now Bodie Weaver taking it himself. And he is stopped at the 1-yard line where the forward progress to his sophomore wide receiver who's just stepped up in such a big way this year. And that single coverage, Lucas Sunwall, he was able to take advantage of it, get down to the 1-yard line. Colleyville knocking on the door, 2nd and goal from the 1. Weaver tries to take it in himself, and he does. Weaver for the touchdown. Colleyville up 13-6 as Weaver runs it in from 1 yard out.
That's touchdown number 6 on the ground.
And Nettles, and then took a shot down the field. They've taken a couple of shots tonight, unable to connect, and that is a lot of the time what teams that like to run first will do. They'll almost put you to sleep with all these runs, and they do a really good job with their scheme. The quarterback getting involved, the option runs, the pitches, all those guys in the backfield, Dadu, Nettles, the 2 running backs, and then Gebhard, the quarterback as well, all of them getting involved. But they do that, the box.
Oh, man, catch. He showed you why he's a P4 player.
Gebhard puts it in the chest of Dadu. He runs in between the tackles up the middle, and Dadu racing into the end zone. A 44-yard rushing touchdown for Ogmo Bolahan Dadu, his 7th of the season. And now Summit likely going to try a 2-point conversion to try to tie the game. We'll see what they try to do here.
Great music, a message that applies to your everyday life, as well as programming for your kids and students to engage on their level. Learn more at compass.church.
From your first paycheck to your first home, starting your own business, or celebrating your retirement, we're here for all of life's important moments. At Simmons Bank, our modern banking solutions make managing
Two notable just across the 25, but again, there was things working on that return for Chase Gibson. But Colleyville getting the ball back after they put together a really impressive drive. I mean, we have not touched on this Mansfield Summit defense, a 5-2 team that is only allowing about 23 points a game. They've got a strong front. We mentioned Cam Hall, of course, the big Power 4 recruit. But a 10-play drive, they go 55 yards down the field after they got a good Gibson return, and they score. And they'll try to follow that. Bodie Weaver, 2nd and 10. From the 27, he's Tremel Jeffers. I'm Will Connerly. Trey Bell alongside us tonight here from Newsom Stadium in Mansfield, Texas for this Panther Friday night broadcast on Tradio. And Gabe Bass on the carry. Stepped up behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1 on the play. Dorian Jones on the tackle.
We talked about this Jaguars defense. We've been juggling the football. He couldn't corral it. The Panthers catch a break.
Now they'll have a chance to flip the field after Tyson Como Watts, the junior defensive back, nearly had not just an interception, but as you mentioned, that would have been a touchdown as well. Nobody in front of him. And so the Panthers dodge a bullet. They're able to punt it away. And the Jaguars will start around their own 35 down the field, as you see there. But they utilize multiple quarterbacks. Demarius Byrd, he's 11 of 22 this season for 280 yards passing. About 50% completion, 2 touchdowns, interception. Went 0 for 2 passing last week. So he comes in and throws the ball down the field on occasion, the senior quarterback.
It's really hard to come in and just chunk the ball for the first time without being in a rhythm.
Another connection. They want to get it in the hands of Gebhardt, and he has it there up the sideline. Gebhardt this season coming into the game, he had 3 catches for 76 yards. He has 2 catches here on back-to-back plays. So wanting to get the quarterback involved a bit in the passing game. He did have 365 receiving yards last season, along with 140 rush yards. And then not to mention he has about 500 passing yards. So he does everything. Just listed it across the 15-yard line, flag down in the backfield. And that is interesting because when you game plan for Summit, you think first to Darian Nettles. So a holding penalty will back up Summit 10 yards. So you think about a Darian Nettles, and with the first team all-district.
In that time, he just makes a really athletic play. He bats the ball down, and he saves a touchdown. And now the Panthers are facing a 3rd and 20 situation on defense.
That holding call really hurt him. Now Byrd dropping back to pass once again over the middle, and that's intercepted. Taken away by Isaiah Haynes, and Haynes running this one back. Look at Haynes go across the 50-yard line. Isaiah Haynes with a massive play for the Colleyville Heritage. Drive right there. Mansfield Summit, they had Demarius Byrd in there a lot as quarterback. When he was in, dropping back to pass, that the occasion again. And Haynes, who steps up, a guy getting more opportunity. And Bodie Weaver put the ball down, getting the ensuing snap after the interception return, and just have to hop on it for a loss. So second turnover forced by Colleyville in this first half. First drive for Mansfield Summit. It's their star running back, Darian Nettles, who puts it. The 6th play of the drive upcoming. They've already shaved a few minutes off the clock, trying to make this the final possession of the first half. Lucas Sunwall has it, but it's a trick play. He throws this one down the field, and it's intercepted. What a brilliant grab by Jamil McCowan. Wow, he just snagged that one right out of the air. Lucas Sunwall grabbed the pass. Have not seen that.
Dax Hebeson is just in the perfect place at the right time, and he just picks it off. He gets a nice Christmas gift early here in October.
That's a good call right there, Dax. That's a good one. That's a good one right there. Give him some love. His 3rd interception of the season. It does stand. And now we'll probably just have a knee here, Trammell.
Yeah, I think here with 3 seconds left, you just take a knee, and then you go to the half.
Trey Colleyville also doing the same with an interception. So 4 total turnovers in that first half.
Not a Bodie Weaver interception either.
He nearly had one, too,
He nearly had one. Yeah, that made up for it. That should have been an interception, and it honestly should have been returned for 6. We got lucky there on that one. But Colleyville really doesn't get punished with their turnovers, so it worked out. They
only one,
out.
Right?
Yeah, just one.
Yeah,
just
Lucas
one turnover.
Want to crowd the box, that's fine, but they've got 4 really talented receivers, and Trevi Price, one-on-one, was able to make it happen.
Oh, yeah, and we're looking here. Everybody's in the box. You got man coverage. Let's take a shot.
It's a touchdown for Connor Supacase, a 19-yard score, a brilliant dart to the wideout. After 3 TDs last week, number 8 adds 1 more. His 9th touchdown of the season is up and good. 21-13 is the score. Connor Supacase tonight.
Will, we talked about it. They have everybody in the box. You have to account for those 4 receivers. It's man coverage. Everybody's in the box. They throw it on man coverage right in the back of the end zone. And it is another touchdown for Connor Supacase. And Colleyville goes up by 8 points. Bodie Weaver and Connor Supacase, their chemistry is A+. It is
upcoming here on 3rd and 4 from the 47-yard line.
Yeah, only a sophomore. He's getting some really key reps in this one. Like you said, he's played a lot, and he's made some really big plays. So the future is so bright on this young squad. You have him. You have Isaiah Omar. They're only sophomores, so imagine what they're going to be in their final season as seniors.
Colin Bennett in
the end zone.
And he was really the safety valve there, just the tight end sitting out there. Weaver checked it down, didn't have his first read, tried to give it out to the tight end. And Wendler, a guy who doesn't get a ton of targets, and Weaver, he is swallowed up there in the backfield. Huge play made. It's Markel Allen, the junior defensive end. Really big get off there, and it's 4th and 8. But Wendler, a guy who doesn't get a ton of targets, and not a lot of tight end sets with the 4 wideouts. 21.
They had a passing play. The receivers go in and they run their routes, but there was no doubt in Gebhardt's mind that he was running with it. He wasn't even looking to throw the ball. He knew the entire time, I'm going to run with this one. I've had success running the ball all day. Let me take this into the end zone and let me put my team on my back and tie this ball game up. And that's exactly what he did.
And just, he operated at a high level on that drive. He's a reason this drive was really able. 4th quarter. Bodie Weaver dropping back to pass. He steps up at the pocket, looks down the sideline, and he could not connect with Lucas Sunwall. In the coverage, Jameel McCowan. What a brilliant interception on Lucas Sunwall toward the tail end of the first half.
Yeah, and then that time again, he has really good coverage on Lucas Sunwall. He was with him step for step. Bodie Weaver just tries to deliver one right in the bucket. The Jaguars they were able to pick up 3rd down conversion after 3rd down conversion after 3rd down conversion, and even a couple of 4th down conversions. So you got to get a stop here on 3rd down. You're facing 3rd and 10. Get them off the field. Somebody make a big play.
Gebhardt has the snap. Rolls out, fires, and it's incomplete. Eli Woolery breaks it up. They were looking.
He's been running physical. He's been wearing the defenders down on the defensive line, and he's going to break one. And there he is. There's a big hole everywhere. He goes untouched, and then he finishes it off with some physical running, and he gets tackled by the ankles. A big run and big play for the Panthers offense, and now they are in the red zone.
Weaver keeps it himself. Turns up the middle. And 1, 2, 3 with any time. Summit, either way, is going to have time. And they all have all three timeouts and the 2-minute timeout on their side. Weaver keeps it himself and just walks into the end zone. Bodie Weaver for a touchdown. 4 on the night for him. His 2nd on the ground. He has 2 through the air. And the Panthers add on 27-20. Try to give Colleyville a 7-point lead here in the 4th quarter. He splits them. Colleyville up 28-21. We will step aside. Colleyville up by a touchdown on the road against the number 2 team in the district.
Compass Church is for you. Join us each week to experience great music.
Carried the load on the ground for the Panthers. 18 carries for 44 yards. Colin Bennett with the massive run to set up that touchdown. Bennett now 7 carries for 63 yards. Really efficient night for Colin Bennett on the ground. And then Bodie Weaver punched it in for the touchdown. 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 in the air for Bodie Weaver. He's 12 of 22 tonight for 153 yards. But now it is the Jaguars here on their senior day, trying to stand for 100 yards on the ground. That's good for his average. 18 carries for 107 yards and a pair of scores for number 3, Darian Nettles. With 3:39 to go in the 4th quarter, Colleyville up by a touchdown. It's out to Nettles again, looks for the edge, now cuts up the field across the 40-yard line up to the 40. 142 they give him. So a pickup of about 5 on first down. 3.5 to make it number 3 for number 16. And a 3rd and 5 awaits from the 42-yard line.
3rd down and 5. I want to see somebody on this defensive line get a sack. Demarius Logan, Isaiah Omar. Who's going to make that big play? Or will Colleyville bring the heat and we see Joey Nisbet or Dax Hebeson come off of some type of blitz? Who's going to make that big play for the Panthers defense?
Gebb right there and getting about to midfield up to Colleyville territory at their 49-yard line.
Yep, that's what he's been doing this entire second half, just moving those chains. He's extending those drives, coming up big for his Jaguar squad.
Gebhardt on the quarterback keeper. Camden Blackson, Joey Nisbet combine on the tackle, but not before another chunk play up to the 42-yard line. 2nd and 2 awaiting. We'll see if...
Another 3rd down. You see here, Gebhardt, he's rolling to his right. He sees his man wide open. He has a man wide open, but that is tipped right as he threw it by Isaiah Omar, who makes another big play. Now let's see if the Panthers defense can do something here on 3rd and short.
3rd and 2 from the 41. Gebhardt takes it himself. They kept it in the hands of their quarterback, Gebhardt. We'll see what they do here. You'd likely see 3 more lined up in the backfield with Nettles and Dadu and Gebhardt. 1 yard to get to keep this drive alive. Big play upcoming.
I think here, if you're the Jaguars offense, it's 4th and 1. You don't want to do anything too fancy. You don't want to get too cute. Just find something up the middle and pick up that 1 yard to keep this drive going. And for the Panthers...
Left for the Jaguars. Gebhardt in the gun. No, that's Demarius Byrd, who throws it down the field. It's incomplete. Byrd looking for Cameron Franklin. So they bring in the quarterback, number 7, Demarius Byrd, who clearly has the bigger arm. They bring him in this situation. They need 36 yards in short order.
Yeah, he has the stronger arm, but it doesn't always mean...
But in the secondary, other guys have stepped up. Can they get a final stand and hold on for a victory here on the road against the number 2 team in the district? 33 seconds left. Gebhardt dropping back to pass, looking for the end zone, and DJ Young was wide open, but they could not connect for what would have been a 21-yard touchdown.
Wow, that is one that they are going to want back badly. A missed opportunity.
Yeah, the timeout taken off the board for Summit. Official didn't indicate either way that I saw, but then Summit's timeout taken off the board, so they burned their final timeout. Now you're in a really tough situation. You need a first down, or to get out of bounds to stop the clock for a moment, you have to get into the end zone here.
Yeah, they're in a really tricky situation. But first, you really just want to focus on picking up that first down. And then after that, you got to see what situation you're in with the clock, if you get out of bounds.
After the clock stopped on first down, they spiked it, but the clock went down to 10 seconds. Now Colleyville calls a timeout with 10 seconds left in the ballgame. Summit with no timeouts. They have a 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. 10 seconds left. They need a touchdown and a PAT to tie the ball game. But hope is still alive for the Jaguars because the freshman wide receiver, Gabe Evans. So 2nd and goal from the 8 with 10 seconds left. Colleyville looking for a red zone stand to try to hold on in this ball game. Gebhardt takes the snap, looks for the end zone, throws it up in the end zone, and it's out of play. Just 4 seconds left. And the final play coming up here.
Oh, the secondary is covering very well. He just has to throw the ball away to see another down. This is going to be the final play of the game. Can the Panthers defense get another stand back-to-back weeks?
Final play of the game, 4 seconds to go. Gebhardt with tons of pressure. He gets rid of it, throws it toward the end zone. It's incomplete. Colleyville wins it. A stand defensively in the red zone for the second consecutive week, and Colleyville hangs on 28-21. They